Today we're talking about the top 5 things you need to do if you are auditioning for a high school or middle school arts magnet, and these are our top 5 last minute audition tips. So we're going to get started. John, we have done a lot of this together over 25 years. You and I have done a lot of successful last minute audition preparation. Isn't that right?
That is right.
Between the two of us. And we've done everything from auditioning for communication arts, digital media, creative writing, musical
Yeah.
theater, acting, technical theater. We've helped people prepare last minute auditions for all these things. If you're looking for last minute successful audition tips, we've got to get right into it. So we're going to start with our number 1. I will start, and that is most of these magnet schools of the arts, particularly the high schools, have interviews, and interviews can be scary. So my top tip is be prepared for your interview the right way. Here's a great tip. Do your homework. Find out as much as you can about the school in advance, and when you're answering questions, we give our students filler phrases, and we also tell them to tie up the end of their questions by repeating the question. And we advise them to read anything and everything that they can about the school, so that when they're having this conversation, which is called an interview, they are speaking with authority and knowledge, and that makes them feel like the boss of their audition and the boss of their interview. So that's our number 1 tip, because we know interviews are something that a lot of middle and high school kids have never done before. So that's our top tip. Number 2. What is your number 2, John?
My number 2 is knowing what you are auditioning for, what the requirements are, and staying within those parameters. You might be a brilliant Shakespearean actor, but if they want a contemporary monologue, do not spend your time doing something outside of what they need. You need to be focused, and you need to use your time wisely. So make sure you're reading the parameters and that you are delivering what they're asking for.
That is crucial. Yeah, because you can spend a lot of time doing the wrong material. We've seen that a lot, and then we have to redo everything. Number 3, plan everything ahead for your actual audition, and make sure that we give all of our students like very specific advice. We tell them, for example, make sure that you go to bed a half an hour early 2 days before your audition, because sleep deprivation affects you 2 days later. So we tell our students, go to bed early 2 days, the day before and the day before the day before. We also tell them how to eat, like not to eat. Leave at least 2 hours between the time you finish eating and when you begin you're going to be beginning your audition. There's a lot of physiological and psychological reasons why we advise that. We're not going to get too deep into that. But we also tell people to really look at what to wear. Dress for success. We have a lot of stories of our students that come back to us and say, we were the best dressed there. And we're like, yeah, we want that. Because your job at an audition is to be liked and remembered and to exceed expectations. And we're all about teaching our clients, even our last minute ones, how to do that. And they feel really confident and they know how to do that. So what about we're on number 4. What about practicing? Tell us about how you practice your audition, John.
So practicing the audition means not just practicing the content, but practicing the presentation, how you approach it, the beginning, the end, the middle, how are you presenting yourself? Because you are the product. It's not just the talent you're presenting. You are the whole product. And so we'd like to make sure that you know what works for you and what is the best way to do it, the best way to get across what you're trying to show.
Yeah, so you are auditioning them.
That's
You
true.
are selling yourself, and your audition starts the minute you walk into that room, and that will make or break your audition. If you walk in with confidence, and John, do we do a lot of work on how to walk into the room?
A 7-point system for pre-audition success,
Yes.
framing of the mind. But yes, spending time focusing on even just how to walk in the room and say hello. Yep.
Yeah. that like those nitty gritty little things. And we're really good. And we've had a lot of experience with kids who've come from other audition prep programs and they were not taught that. And it makes such a huge difference. And we know this because we've been on both sides of the table. So we know how important that is, that they're auditioning you, not your material. So you've got to exceed those expectations, and we have step-by-step systems to help you do that with confidence. Even at the last minute, we can help you do that very, very quickly. I like to say that the time you have is the time you need. But it is really important to get with people that know how to teach this. Hello, I think that we would qualify for that. Okay, so plan everything and manage. John, you mentioned before our system. So the next tip is managing your nerves. It's not nerves, it's adrenaline. And understanding that adrenaline is your friend, and you need adrenaline to have a good audition, but you need to manage it properly. And that's why we have a 7-step pre-audition routine that you use while you're in the waiting room. And we know it works because we teach it to everybody. And the people that kind of poo-poo it and don't use it, they're the ones that freeze. They come back and tell us, I froze. Well, did you use your 7 steps? No. Why not? It works. So we have time for one more big tip. What about time management?
So, as Melissa said, the time you have is the time that you need, but you need to structure what you do have left so that you know what you're doing in that amount of time. Bite-sized pieces, and it is sometimes vital that you don't just look at what you have left to learn, but you look back on what you have accomplished and you acknowledge what you've successfully learned this far. Focus on your abilities, your strengths, and build from there. But the time that you need, as she said, is the time that you have, even last minute. It is all achievable if you simply focus on the task at hand.
Right, and make sure that you focus on walking into the room, focus on practicing your interview as a conversation. We can help you with all of that. Focus your attention on practicing your audition many, many times and in front of people. You have to get used to the pressure, slowly but surely. Get used to doing your audition in front of people. And we always tell our clients, just tell the people that you're practicing your audition for, you don't want any feedback at all. No feedback. You're just bodies. I just need to get used to practicing my audition from start to finish in front of people. Those are our 5 last-minute tips. My name is Melissa Bohr-Jacobson. I am the owner of Confident Performance Coaching, and this is John LaRiviere. He's one of our preeminent coaches specializing in theater, musical theater, acting, well, that's theater, technical theater, I should say, communication and creative writing. I do all those same things. We are here to help you. You can get on a free consult with us. We can work with your student one-on-one and get them ready, whether we're helping them get ready with their audition techniques, their confidence, and their turning their audition so that they're the boss of their audition. We can help you with all of that. So you can see up here how to get on our free consult. And if you look down below and also in the description to this video, you'll see we have a free guide for you as well. So make sure you grab that. It's a free parent's guide to auditioning for magnet schools of the arts. Super valuable. And we'll see you in the next video.